Welcome into the sixth edition of the latest with Devin and Brennan. I'm Devin Dobeck alongside Brennan McLaughlin, bringing you all your updates in high school and pro sports as usual. So the Boston Bruins, they're on a bit of a skid. They have fallen out of the playoff spot as of now, which it's not a great time. They're only 1 point out of the last spot in the Atlantic and 2 points out of the second spot in the Atlantic. But it's just weird. What's not clicking for them? I feel like they can't close games, but
Yeah, they cannot close. They had a 2-1 lead last night against the Jets, and let's just say it didn't work out the way they wanted to. The same guy on the Jets scored 2 goals in under a minute just to take the lead 3-2. But of course, Pastrnak doing his thing. I think he scored last night. Did Bergeron score last night too?
yep.
Yeah.
Scored to tie it at 3-3.
Yeah. So, of course, that first line carrying the load, as usual. Their depth. David Backes legit was a healthy scratch the other night. He's not been playing good at all. The resurgence from David Krejci, I guess, is
David
a bright
Backes
spot.
did play last night.
Yeah, I know, but there's other, instances during this season where he's been a healthy scratch and hasn't done anything. But, I don't know.
That
It was
rookie-
Kyle Connor
that rookie
scored
went
twice
off.
last night.
Frederick for the Bruins making his NHL debut, and he got in a fight and
I don't know if he went off. He just beat the crap out of someone.
beat the living daylights out of some guy. So good for him. Good to see.
Tanev. That
He
guy
just
really
won.
wanted it, and he was like, bop, bop. Oh, that's great.
But yeah, we're praying for the Bruins because they're very inconsistent in my
Well,
opinion.
last year they started off pretty slow, and then they just
They did.
went crazy.
They haven't had a deep playoff run since 2013 though, when they lost in the cup.
Yeah, they
Um,
had a 1-0 lead on the Lightning last year, and then Lightning won 4 straight, and they're like, yeah, we're not having that. So
yeah, but
there's some bright spots last year. They beat the always cocky Toronto, so
that
that's what you like to see.
But shifting gears, the Celtics. There's been a lot going on. So, in case you missed it, Anthony Davis requesting a trade out of New Orleans. This will not be great for the Celtics in this time period because due to the Rose rule, they can't have both Kyrie's contract and Davis's contract, so they can't trade him, trade for him, which has been their plan all along. But
Yeah.
how do you feel? Anthony Davis was fined $50,000 for coming out publicly and saying he wanted to trade. But how do you feel about it?
Well, there was a report today. The Pelicans GM has not picked up his phone yet. To anyone that has called, hasn't picked up the phone at all. So, I don't really see I didn't see Danny Ainge talking to the Pelicans now and saying oh, we can give you a significant more trade package, which could involve a person like Brown and Rozier and a pick.
I saw something where it was Brown, Tatum, Smart, and a pick for Davis. That's insane. I'm not even sure if I would do that.
I
quite
mean,
frankly.
if Tatum hasn't been great this season, but he's still been a good player. But
Smart has helped us a lot on defense
Yeah.
and hit a few big shots.
I could see more of a trade involving Rozier and Brown.
Marcus Morris, maybe.
Definitely a Marcus Morris kind of guy, but also boatload of picks. Maybe 2 first rounds and add in 3 second rounds also.
It's a lot.
Yeah, but it's better than giving away a person like Tatum. That could be a future superstar that could help your team, but.
All right. I mean, I guess that's how you argue it there. But also, some rumors have come out. So, obviously, earlier in the season, Kyrie said he wanted to re-sign with the Celtics over the summer. But recent reports have been saying there's rumors of him wanting to rejoin LeBron or leave the Celtics in free agency. How do you feel about that?
Well, if the Celtics pick it up and start exceeding expectations, I could see Kyrie wanting to stay, but Kyrie a bunch of the young guys have rifts with him because Kyrie has came in to the team this year saying oh, we're gonna do this and that, but then all the younger players last year that went to the Eastern Conference Finals without him, they're yeah, but we've had success without you. So it just seems there's a lot of arguments and discomfort in that locker room, which I don't think Kyrie's a fan of.
I don't know though. They need Irving. If they who would lead them if he was gone? You know.
Yeah, I don't know. They would have to trade for a guy like Anthony Davis, and then I don't think they have room to sign anyone else. So honestly, Kyrie could become enemy number 1 in Boston in a short time. if he actually went to go join LeBron after what his comments were when he left LeBron, saying that he wanted to lead a team, but if he went to go back to LeBron, obviously he failed in doing that, and it would just be awful.
Yeah, also, Kyrie will be starring in a horror movie and also being the executive producer. So, movie star Irving back at it again. But
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
Red Sox, they just signed a reliever. Well, you would know.
Yeah, a lot of players in the MLB are not a fan of that. Let's just say that. He has been suspended 3 times before for PEDs, but he, Mejia sounds about right. But his ban was lifted to join the Red Sox. Just think about that.
All right, but we need bullpen power. Is he a lefty or righty?
Righty.
All right. Kimbrel, how do you feel about Kimbrel? Brock Holt publicly said he wants him back.
There's a strong chance he'll resign. Like I feel I just have a gut feeling he's gonna resign because I think he'd rather go back to a team that just won a championship than go to the Atlanta Braves of like what other team like wants to sign him right now. So like I just see a better fit in Boston.
You think
than
he'll
what they
take a
have in
pay
Atlanta.
cut in order to do that?
Well, it depends. Like, if it gets to, like, a month, like March, I guess it could get to, like, that. But also, like, free agency here with the MLB has been so odd this year. Like, none of the big names are off the board. Like obviously, you see the 2 names, like, Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. They're still there. But there's also players like Dallas Keuchel that still haven't been signed to a team that could easily help someone go deep in the playoffs. So, like, there's other names out there besides Bryce Harper and Manny Machado that also haven't signed with a team yet. So, like, that's why I don't understand.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. Yeah, I don't know why they're holding off for so long.
Yeah. It's just weird. There's just something fishy about that.
All right, so I guess we should shift into our main topic,
That's
which
right.
is
I wanna
the
see
Patriots
something.
lingering Super Bowl. So a lot of things we can touch on before we get into the actual game. Tom Brady, 41 years old, saying he wants to play till 45. He's talking with Mr. Kraft about an extension, which I think is great news for the team. Obviously, Brady's still got a little left in him, and we're excited to see how that goes. But let's also talk about Devin McCourty. He said if he wins this Super Bowl, he might just ride out into the sunset. Yeah, winning one with his brother, Jason. That would just be a dream come true for him, and he don't see how he can top it. But he's only 31 years old. How do you feel about that?
I think he's just trying to look out for the health of his body. He's been a catalyst for that defense pretty much ever since he came into the league. Maybe like his second season, he was like already one of the stars on that defense. But honestly, like I could see him getting older, his speed like digressing, his like agility and all that stuff. But he still has a football IQ that most teams like don't have in a defense, like a leader. There's a video of them before the Chargers game. He was just hyping up that defense, just being the man that he always is, which would be sad. It would be sad to see him go, but it would just
Walter Payton, Man of the Year candidate for the team.
He's
he's
just
just
the
a
whole
big.
package.
He's everything that you want on the defensive end. Great safety. He's done good. Obviously, he's older. Hasn't been as good this season, but he's definitely made some huge plays for the team. But yeah, it would be a shame if he left. But you got to respect it. He's done a lot for the team.
yeah.
But how do we feel about the Rams cornerback?
Nickel, Roby Coleman.
Yeah,
Who names our kid Nickel?
Roby Coleman, of course, the guy who got the pass interference penalty in the Saints game, which really should have put them out of the Super Bowl. It would have been his fault. But luckily, there was no penalty, which Goodell just commented on and said that they're not going to change it. If people are just complaining about it, it would have to be a legit cause, which I think is a little silly, but you know what? I'm not sure I agree with a lot of the things Roger Goodell does.
Yeah, you can say that again.
But Roby Coleman coming out calling Tom Brady old age, dated, just a bunch of fluffy crap that just no one.
Gosh, just shut your trap.
Who gives him
man.
the right to say that? I mean,
you have no right to speak. You should
the
be the
greatest of
reason
all
why
time.
your team should not be in the Super Bowl right
Yeah,
now.
I
So
don't
why are you even
understand.
speaking?
I don't understand. but you know.
Like, you're a slot corner. Like, you're the fourth option on this team when it comes to corner, because you have Aqib Talib in front of him, Marcus Peters, and I think Tremaine Johnson is on that defense too, who's been playing pretty good this season, and then Roby Coleman is there. Like, you're a slot corner. Like, I would not be surprised when it comes to Sunday, Julian Edelman torches you in the slot. Like,
Yeah, he's an interesting character, but you know what? Let's take a positive from the Rams. Brandon Cooks gave the custodian free tickets to the Super Bowl for him and his son. I thought that was really cool that he did that. Good to see there. That kind of made me be like, ooh, I want the Rams to win, but then I was like, no,
I don't want the Rams to win.
But he was, I don't know, it was just a really cool moment to see if you saw the video.
Yeah.
It may turn you into a Rams fan. But it'll be good. Cooks will get some vengeance on his old team. Hopefully it won't pay off for him.
That's what I have no confidence in Jared Goff. Like, there's been four
There's
games
a
this season where
age
he has
difference.
blatantly
He's
been
24
awful.
years old. Brady is 41. I don't see this young guy taking down the greatest of all time. I don't see it. I feel like it was just like the Mahomes. Like, he eventually caught fire, but, you know, I don't see it happening. They're too young. They don't have the experience. I don't see it.
Especially if Todd Gurley is not 100%. Like, I don't see. But we overlooked the quarterback last year, Nick Foles, and we saw how that
is
worked
true.
out for us.
That is definitely true, but
Yeah.
how do we feel? Who's going to contain Aaron Donald on this Pats offensive line? Because he's projected to have like 4 sacks this game.
Yeah. I could see if Aaron Donald lines up at like the end, Trent Brown. Trent Brown could be a guy that could stop him. Even Marcus Cannon if
Shaq
he's on
Mason.
that side, and Shaq Mason. There's options on that line which easily could lock him down, but they're gonna need help.
David
Like,
Andrews.
yeah, they're gonna need help with the running backs. Like, they were showing like these clips of like D Ford on the Kansas City Chiefs, how James, like, he would go and try to pursue the quarterback, but James White would give him a little bump, and then which would stop him a little bit, and then the offensive lineman would stop him from getting to Brady. So, Bill Belichick will have a scheme like besides that, because he wants to take away your both like most productive weapons on both sides of the ball, which I see as Aaron Donald on that defense, but also Todd Gurley on the Rams offense. But if Todd Gurley is not healthy, I could see Bill Belichick, like, with the corners in the defense that he has, like, shutting down a man like Brandon Cooks or Robert Woods. Like, it's pick your poison,
Gilmore's
I
going to
guess.
be good. I have a good feeling about him.
It just depends who Gilmore's on. It really comes down to.
J.C. Jackson, how are we feeling about him at corner? I have to comment on that because I don't think he's been a terrible corner. He got a couple tough calls on him. They weren't pass interference.
I'm more confident in him than I was in Eric Rowe last year, so I can tell you that now.
Who would play corner if it wasn't J.C. Jackson? Johnny Jones?
Yeah, Jonathan Jones. He's been up and down this season, but he's not bad. Like,
I also like to see a lot of Duron Harmon at safety along with Chung. That'll be a good battle. Oh, Jason McCourty would be at corner. Jason McCourty's had a great second half of the season, I'll tell you that much. It should definitely be him, Gilmore.
remember how he almost got
Other
cut in the
McCourty.
beginning of the season?
Yeah.
Like, in the first game of the season, he played 3 snaps.
And now he's headed to the Super Bowl with his twin brother. What a feeling for that. Great to see. But, yeah, I see Tom Brady pulling out. So, let's take your game prediction. Who you taking and what's the score?
Patriots 31-27. Because Patriots, when they ever go to the Super Bowl, they've never had a game that's been less than a 1-possession game at the end. So I can see this game being close, but Tom Brady with that final drive at the end will just kiss the Rams goodbye.
Yeah, I'm thinking Pats 27-20. That's my prediction. So, it'll be a shootout, I think. A lot of offense. It may even be higher than that, honestly. But a lot of offense, and I think there's going to be a lot of big defensive plays, too. This is going to be an action-packed Super Bowl. 2 absolute powerhouses going at it. Very excited to see that on Sunday. And then we got the halftime show, Maroon 5 and Travis Scott. Going to be on the halftime, and that should be interesting. But, yeah.
The halftime show, just that one year when Lady Gaga was on it, she just jumped from the ceiling. And
That was a good halftime show.
and I was like, oh my God.
That was a really good halftime
Just
show.
jumped in from the roof, and I'm like, huh? That was funny.
But I'm very excited for the Super Bowl. It's going to be an entertaining game. Hopefully we get some good commercials, all the elements of the Super Bowl, some good food.
Good food, of course.
But yeah, Sony Michel, how do you think? Give me his stat line.
I'll give him about 90 to 100 yards.
I'm gonna take probably like 15 carries for probably like 65 yards, and I think a touchdown. That's my stat line for him.
The Rex Burkhead will get a lot of touches too in that game, and then James White obviously out of the backfield with the passing attack.
So who do you think is gonna be making the big Amendola plays for the Patriots without him this year?
Without,
You think Philip Dorsett will step up in the spotlight, or
Yeah,
Daryl Patterson?
I
maybe
like
Chris Hogan?
Dorsett, but I love Chris Hogan. Chris Hogan will just find the soft spot in that defense and completely.
Philip
torch 'em with
Dorsett,
it.
I feel, is very underused. He at the beginning of the season, he had I think 3 touchdowns in 4 games. He was playing unbelievable. Then
And
of
then-
course Josh Gordon was signed, which to touch on that, Patriots are paying for his rehab, so he may be back with the team next year if all goes well. But of course, there's been about 5 offenses, so we'll see how long that holds. But let's hope that kid can get back on his feet because he definitely deserves it. Of course, he's endorsing the Pats a
Yeah.
lot in the Super Bowl. Who else do you think will have a touchdown though? Because you said 31, so at least 4
Gronk.
touchdowns. You
Gronk.
think
If it's gonna be Gronk's final game, I can just see Gronk laying it all out there.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Rob Gronkowski possibly retiring.
I'm convinced. I was convinced last year if they won the Super Bowl, he was gone.
Yeah, I think it will be good for him. I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone wants to see that. Such a strong player for this team his whole career. But I feel like this could be the end if he wins the Super Bowl. But you never know with Gronk.
He wasn't confirming that he was gonna retire either at that press conference I had. He was kind of like, nah, maybe, but probably not. I don't know. And then he was asked about the number 69 as usual, and then he's like,
And then, how you want to know what's the life? Brian Hoyer. He just sits on the sidelines, enjoys some football, and gets a ring every once in a while. That's
I'd
got to
love
be the life.
Tom
for
Brady's
him.
backup, dude.
He just kind of
That sounds fire.
sits there, just lets the rings roll in. What's he got? 2 or 3 now?
That'll be 3, I hope.
Oh man, but what a life for that guy.
I saw some. The Celtics are 20-6 at home. Like
It's pretty
what?
good. Not a very good road team then, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not really good at math, so that means they have 13 losses on the road, along with they're no way. Wait a minute, they're under 500 on the road.
That would make sense.
They're what? It's crazy. They're 11-13 on the road.
How about James White? How do you feel about James White? I think he'll have a touchdown on this one.
Yeah.
My 3 touchdowns, because I said 27. My 3
I
touchdowns.
love James White ever since he pretty much put the team on his back against the Falcons.
2
Like-
Steven Gostkowski field goals, and then I think we're going to see a White touchdown, a Gronk touchdown, and an Edelman touchdown. Maybe a Michelle.
I like a Hogan touchdown. I'd love a Hogan touchdown.
But very excited for Super Bowl
Honestly,
Sunday
Dorsett is sneaky.
on the
Very
horizon.
sneaky.
I think Dorsett is very talented. They should utilize him more. If he was a little bigger, dude,
Oh, he'd be body. He'd be a
Unbelievable.
body.
unbelievable. But who on this defense, other than the secondary, do we need to watch for the Patriots? I think Kyle Van Noy, Dante Hightower. I think those. Van Noy's been a very under the radar player, and he's been making a lot
Trey
of.
Flowers.
big
I
things for
love
them.
Trey Flowers.
He's good. I'm not sure is Dietrich Wise playing because he's always in the quarterback's face.
Yeah, I have no idea.
If he plays, definitely watch him. But as we said, you have 31-27 Pats. I have 27-20 Pats. Looking forward to it. We'll give you post-Super Bowl coverage next week here on the latest. But I think that wraps up our pro topics. High school, Zach Roncarati is his name. He will be playing
Is his
net
name.
for the Spartans now. The senior who is homeschooled will be back in net for them. Very excited to see. We have high expectations for him based on what we've heard. As the Spartans will take on Minichog tomorrow night at Olympiad Center at 8:30. Looking forward to it. Me and Brennan will be bringing you the action there. Very excited. Basketball team, they beat Westfield
Yeah.
by 2. They beat Commerce by 30. Not sure if we already touched on that one though.
Yeah. They got spanked
they're
by
getting-
SciTech, though.
Yeah.
I heard it was bad. But SciTech is like the #1 team in Western Mass, so I mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really been following it because there hasn't been a lot of games lately.
Yeah.
But they do have a shot at the playoffs. It's going to take a lot of heart and a lot of winning. I think they need to win. They can only lose like 2 or 3 more games in order to get the spot. But
Hockey team, same thing.
yeah, they it's been a tough year for them, very bumpy. But let's see if this Ron Karate can give them a spark, and good things could happen.
Yeah.
But who do you think we need to watch for the Minnetonka game, as far as the Spartans?
I don't know.
I think Moynihan will have a good game. Definitely a goal.
Oh, I thought you were talking
Trace.
about watch out for people on chalk, and I was like, I don't
No.
care about chalk. Frankie Soares. But Trace, of course, he's just Trace. So he's in my gym class. So when we play floor hockey, I'm very nervous about that. But Moynihan, of course, he's always just a great hockey player. Both sides of the rink, he goes. Defense, great player. Offense, great player. And then, but also, I'm trying to think who could be a sleeper. Andy Miller, sleeper on that. He got bumped up to the second line.
And someone got bumped down. Is it Trace?
Jakes.
Jake's got no. Trace got bumped down to second line, I think.
Really?
It's going to be Trace, Miller, and Morehouse on that second line.
Oof. Morehouse.
A lot of star power
Watch
there.
the physicality out of him.
Yeah, he has told us he will have some hits. We intend to bring some of the players on the show next week, but we'll see how that works because our hockey players are poor planners, in my opinion. But you know what?
Especially Morehouse. Morehouse talks a big game. He's like, oh yeah.
Apparently,
can't.
House has apparently got a huge highlight tape for us with all his hits. So looking forward to seeing
Yeah,
that one.
why
We're
is
gonna
that?
have this big old TV here, so he can show the world how he's a body.
How he goes for the hit instead of the puck, which I've told him multiple times.
But yeah, very excited for that Minnetonka game. Minnetonka wins, they're in the playoffs. So it'll be very cool to see that. It's going to be a good atmosphere, and obviously with this new goalie, it's not going to be a cakewalk for Minnetonka. And East Long Meadow can hold their own. They only lost to Minnetonka 2-1 the first game.
Yeah, they had a ton of chances to beat them too. Like it was a very close, hard-fought game.
But yeah, very excited. I think that pretty much wraps it up. So on behalf of everyone here at LCAT, I'm Devin Dobeck alongside Brennan McLaughlin signing off. And go Pats, baby.